Half of their infections are in badly afflicted Moscow, and it is from there that special correspondent Julia Chapman reports.
At a hospital outside Moscow, protective gear is washed for reuse, and many of the doctors here believe they too have been hung out to dry.
Russian officials say the number of cases is so high because of widespread testing. More than 6 million tests have been carried out for coronavirus. Only the US has done more.
Morning, Julia. Now, the West believes President Putin is behind the attack on Alexei Navalny. What's been the Kremlin's response so far to this?
Well, the response has been muted, to say the least. The Kremlin barely acknowledges that Alexei Navalny exists. Russian President Vladimir Putin has never publicly said his name.
Reporter Julia Chapman is there, and of course the Kremlin have dismissed this report completely. But I suppose, you know, for them, for Russia, of course, it paints a very powerful picture.
It does indeed. This report paints a picture of a powerful and threatening Russia whose money has woven its way into the very fabric of British society, and of a Kremlin with an extremely wide reach. We've had to come into a metro underpass because the police presence is so heavy outside. They're completely blocking the road.
No strings at all. It's actually mutual trade, mutual relationship, mutual cooperation.
Asked when the people of Zimbabwe would feel the benefits of that cooperation, the president batted away the question, blaming Cyclone Idai and drought for the country's misfortunes. I'm Julia Chapman in Vladivostok, and I'll be telling you what's at stake for Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un as North Korea tries to widen its support base amid an impasse with the US over denuclearization. It was a historic day in Belarus, a tale of two political rallies, one much bigger than the other. Starting with the opposition protests, some 200,000 people gathered on the streets of Minsk, thought to be the country's largest ever political protest. His lawyers say that they will appeal, but the prisoner exchange is the more likely outcome, and that's certainly what Paul Whelan's family has been pinning their hopes on. That is an unprecedented move from the Central Election Commission to start publishing the results before all of the polls have closed, but that just goes to show what an unusual vote this is. These delicate threads have long held together Uzbekistan's economy. Under Soviet rule, this was the cotton capital of the Union, responsible for clothing citizens from Central Asia to the Baltics. Picking cotton is grueling work, and for decades it was carried out under a program of forced labor. So important was this so-called white gold to the Soviet and then Uzbek economies that even children weren't exempt from taking part in the harvest. In the place where Hikmat Ziadullayev was born, only the trees remain standing. Generations of his family lived in a home that was destroyed here last year. The bulldozers came one evening without warning, accompanied by police and government officials.
The goal of the reform to have a good condition for people, to create condition when people will be free.
There's no doubt that there's an overwhelming sense of optimism in Uzbekistan. In the last 3 years, the country has opened up to the world in ways few could have predicted. But the challenge now is to translate intention into implementation.